Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Sweat Simple podcast. My name is Brooks Herbis, and I'm an online fitness, nutrition, and mindset coach who's here to help you simplify and make sense out of the all too confusing fitness and nutrition industry. Let's be real, there's a lot of conflicting information online, and it can be hard to know what's legit and who to trust. In every episode, I'll be sharing the science and psychology behind health, fitness, and long lasting behavior change. But I'll also be sharing real life practical application because all of the best info in the world only matters if you can actually apply it to your real life. So grab a coffee, water, glass of wine, or lace up your walking shoes, and let's dive in. You guys, welcome back to the Sweat Simple podcast. Today, we're talking about one of the biggest hurdles when it comes to weight loss, but it does not have to be a hurdle. We are talking all about how to handle meals out without blowing your progress. I work with a lot of type A, high achieving women. That's me too. So if that's you, I see you. You're safe here, safe space. But because of that, because I work with a lot of women who are very like perfectionist mindset, you know how to like dial things in. You know how to like I hear a lot of the time, just give me a plan. I'm gonna follow through with it. Like just tell me what to do and I'm gonna knock it out of the park. Like you know how to grit down. But because of that, the thought of going out to eat where you can't track your calories perfectly, where you know that the meals might be a little bit higher in calories, where maybe it was like an unexpected dinner plan, that can be really anxiety inducing. And I get it. I had a strategy call the other day with a woman, which, by the way, if you want to understand why you're stuck on your fitness journey and have a better understanding of what to do differently moving forward, head to the show notes, book your free strategy call with me so we can chat a little bit more about what's been going on in your world the past year and how we can get you out of this plateau, out of this cycle. We will talk about coaching, full disclosure, but I'm not a crazy person who like makes you give me your credit card info on the call. Yes, some coaches do that. I really just want to chat so that we can see if this is the right fit for you. But anyway, she was telling me that going out to eat causes her a lot of anxiety and overwhelm. And because of that, she just doesn't. Like, she knows that if she just eats the way she currently is and she eats her same exact meals every single week and she's really rigid, she is successful and she will lose weight, but she doesn't know what to do with meals out. So instead of figuring that out, she just doesn't. She just passes on those opportunities. And if you can relate, let me know, shoot me a DM. Or maybe on the flip side, you feel like every time you go out to eat, you throw in a towel because you can't do things perfectly. If either one of that is you, like I just avoid the situation and I don't go, or when I do go, I just allow myself to fully enjoy it and I kind of like go off the rails because it feels like my only opportunity to do so. This is the episode for you. Because when we think about meals out and how we want to approach them. And first I want you to I want to give you a lot of hope that it doesn't have to be this way. I very much used to fall into that mindset of I would be perfect, perfect, perfect. And then as soon as I went out to eat, it was like I was treating it as a reward and like for being so good all week. But it was throwing me off course. I was never seeing any progress. I was always yo-yo dieting because I was living in these two extremes. And it is so possible to find balance. And I think what's really important and underrated is that when you find this balance, not only do you see more progress, like that's really the case is weight loss feels a lot easier and maintaining your weight loss feels a lot easier, but you also free up a lot of the mental drama that you're currently having around going out to eat. When you can find this balance, you're going to be more present at these events because you're not going to be thinking about food and the scale in the back of your mind. You're not going to be worried that enjoying a meal with your friends is ruining all of your progress. You're not going to have to sit there and spiral when someone invites you out to dinner because you feel like you didn't plan for it. And that's like, then you don't want to ruin your progress and you're not sure if you should or shouldn't go. Like, I know right now you are probably spending
so much mental energy around meals out. And that is not what this life should be. That's not what dieting should be. Like, you should be fully enjoying your life while also losing weight. And for me, and maybe it's different for you, but for me, enjoying my life is being able to go out to eat, be present. When my husband says, let's go get pizza, I don't have a freak out. So when I want that for all of you guys so, so badly. And when we think about meals out and how we want to approach them, it's really helpful to come back to your core health beliefs and values. Are you someone who wants to be able to enjoy meals out for the rest of your life? You want to be able to go and not leave uncomfortably full. You don't want to feel like you quote unquote messed up. If that is the goal, we have to keep that at the front of our mind and start practicing this way of eating now. Because if you are straight up with me and you say, no, I don't like going out to eat. I don't want to go out to eat. When my family says we're going to get pizza, I want to sit at home and not go with them. Or I want to just bring my sad little salad with me. I don't want to enjoy those meals out. If that is like truly how you feel, then more power to you. Don't worry about learning how to eat at a restaurant, because it sounds like that's not something you want for your long-term life. But if you do want to be able to go out to eat and you do want to be able to enjoy time with your family and not overthink food and not freak out when your friends invites you to happy hour, if that's important to you, we need to start practicing that way of eating now. That's what sustainable fat loss and behavior change is. It's practicing the way that you want to be over and over until it feels like your norm. And right now, the way of eating that you're practicing is being really perfect, freaking out if you can't perfectly track your calories, feeling like you messed up and you threw in the towel as soon as you can't be perfect. That's the old way, and that's what you're currently practicing. And if that's not how you want to feel for the rest of your life, we need to practice a different way. We need to start practicing the way that we want to be now. And we need to practice it over and over and over until that feels like your norm, that feels like your default, as opposed to this current like restriction, messed up, freaking out type of mindset. So, how should you start to handle these meals out in a way that feels really in line with your core health values? I'm going to walk you through the same framework that I use with my one-on-one coaching clients, but as I'm walking you through this framework, I want you to keep that core health belief top of mind. And it might even be helpful to, if you're on a walk, don't do this if you're driving, but if you're on a walk or doing the dishes or something, maybe take a quick pause and in your notes app on your phone, just jot down like, what do you want eating out to look like long term for you? How often do you want to do it? How would you feel at these meals? What would you be thinking about at these meals? How would you feel when you leave the meal? Think about all of that and write it down. And bonus points if you DM me on Instagram and let me know what it is. I love hearing from you guys and that you're actually listening to these episodes. So copy and paste whatever you write in your notes app and shoot me a DM on Instagram, sweat.simple, so that we can chat about it a little bit more. But I want you to think about that and keep that in the back of your mind as I'm walking through this framework. Quick intermission in this episode to let you know that from September 9th to 11th, I am hosting my free Fat Loss Forever Challenge, and I want you to join. In just 3 live mini trainings, I'll show you why healthy eating isn't working anymore, how to set up your life so that fat loss feels easier, and the real reason you can't follow through even when you know what to do. It is a super fun challenge. I only run it twice a year. You'll walk away with strategies you can start implementing immediately. It is totally free to join, and you can head to the show notes to grab your free spot. So, first things up to think about when you're going out to eat. Is this meal a special occasion? So, for example, if you aren't someone who goes out to eat often, or it's for a birthday or an anniversary, that would probably be considered a special occasion. Like if you're going out to eat once a month, that's a special occasion. That's like a meal that you probably just want to enjoy. Knowing that it's a special occasion that doesn't happen often, then I want you to think about, how do you want to handle it? Do you want to track calories? Do you not? Are you going to allow yourself to be over calories if you're tracking? What does this look like? There's no right and wrong here. This is up to you. But remember, as we're doing this, we are practicing the new way that we want to be. We are not practicing the old way and eating out of fear and concern of ruining our progress. We're focusing on the new way, the way that we want to be forever, even well after we've reached our fat loss goals. So let's say you picture yourself 5 years from now, you've lost all the weight, you feel amazing. How would you handle that meal then? That's how I want you to think about handling it today. So let's say you've decided this isn't a special occasion. I go out to eat multiple times a week. I got to figure this out. I got to figure out how to navigate these meals, even when they're not special occasions and I'm not going all out. So then I want you to think about how you want to handle it. Now, if you are someone who's tracking calories and you've decided this isn't a special occasion, I do recommend still tracking calories at restaurants. Tracking calories is education. And again, my type A perfectionist ladies, I know you don't want to track at restaurants because one, you won't be perfect with it. And two, you think that you assume that the meal is going to be higher in calories and you don't want to see it. If you don't see it, those calories don't count. You don't have to worry about it. But the truth is that when we are using tracking calories, not for restriction, but for education, which is how I use it with my one-on-one coaching clients, how else do you expect to learn about this food and learn how it could fit into your day-to-day life long term if you're avoiding, if you're not getting the education, if you're not getting the information about this food? And P.S., before we go any further, if you want to know how many calories you need for fat loss, DM me calories on Instagram. I'll send you my free calorie calculator. But that is the first step. We need to understand what these meals actually look like, how they can fit into your day. So I would still recommend tracking calories. I think it will be beneficial. Then I want you to think about what might make tracking calories or staying balanced at this meal easier. And you can even use these strategies if you aren't tracking or if it is a special occasion meal. Like, what are those things that might make this meal easier to navigate and might make it feel more like a meal that you are eating at home? Maybe it's looking at the menu in advance. Maybe it's pre-logging the rest of your day, the rest of your meals for that day, so you can see how this meal fits in, and then you can adjust like portion sizes or the sorts of things that you order before you're actually eating it. Maybe it's more of those mindful eating skills, like pausing halfway through your meal to assess your hunger levels. Maybe it's leaving food on your plate. These are all going to be really individual. And if we were working together one-on-one, we would really dive into like what would make you personally the most successful. But those are some things to get the ball rolling. So first thing, you're going to decide, is this a special occasion or not? Second thing, if it's not a special occasion, how do I still want to handle it? 3, what are the things that might make tracking or staying balanced at this meal easier? And as we're doing all 3 of these things, we are always thinking about that future version of us and how we want to eat at restaurants forever. Not that old mindset and coming out of like fear and restriction, but how we want to practice this new way of eating over and over and over again. Now, a quick hit / reminder. So these are more tactical things that you can apply in the moment. If you are tracking calories and it's not a chain restaurant, it's a local restaurant, it's something that wouldn't have the calories like listed in MyFitnessPal, search for something that's most similar in whatever tracking app you're using. And I found that it can be more helpful to log ingredients individually rather than logging the type of meal. So for example, if you're at a Mexican restaurant, if you were to search for and log fajitas, it probably wouldn't be the most accurate calorie amount just because of how much you're actually eating, versus if you log the grilled chicken and the peppers and the oil and the tortilla as separate things, you're able to adjust portion sizes a little bit more precise based off what you actually ate. So I would find that to be more helpful. But you're really just looking for something most similar to what you're eating. Again, we are not going to be perfect at this. That's okay. We don't need to be perfect to get education. You're also going to want to look for something that's in the middle. So if you're logging like a club sandwich and there's a couple club sandwiches that are like 900 calories, there's a couple that are like 350 calories, and most are kind of lying in that like 750 range. I would log something in that 750 range. I know that it's really tempting to say, oh, I'm going to pick the 350 calorie one, because then look at like everything that I have for the rest of the day. I have so many calories left over. The only person you're cheating by doing that is yourself, because you know that's probably not an accurate representation of what you're eating. So when we're looking at restaurant meals, we always want to pick a calorie amount that's showing up most similar or most frequently. And we probably want to be overestimating. So don't forget, restaurants tend to have a pretty heavy hand when it comes to like oils and butters that they're cooking in. So you want to account for those things and overestimate if you go out to eat often and losing fat is like a big priority for you. So remember, we won't be perfect with this. That's okay. One meal out is not going to make or break your progress. We are just trying to practice. We are trying to get education. We're not trying to be perfect. When should you adjust your strategy though? Like, let's say you go out to eat often, you're trying to release the perfection, you're trying to let yourself enjoy yourself a little bit more, and you feel like it's not working. You can't find that middle ground. I would look to adjust your strategy at how you're handling meals out if you're not being consistent in general. So like let's say you are frequently going over your calories when you go out to eat and you go out to eat often, or you're are being consistent, but you're not seeing the results that you think you should be seeing, and you're eating out multiple times a week, then it might be time to take a closer look at things like, am I acting in a way that's in line with my goals right now? So is the amount that you're eating out, does that feel good for you with your core values? Do you feel like you are tracking accurately at these instances? Do you feel like you're eating in a way that feels good to you at these instances? If not, that's when I would look to adjust. Maybe you're eating a little bit less at these meals. Maybe you're cooking at home a little bit more. So it is very, very possible to go out to eat, to enjoy social events, to like have a good time while you're losing fat. The only time that going out to eat could be getting in the way of your fat loss goals if it no longer feels in line with your core health values. If you're getting takeout all the time and that doesn't feel like it's helping you reach your goals. If you don't want to be someone who gets takeout all the time. So, or if you're going to brunch every Sunday and getting wasted with your girlfriends and you don't want that to be your life anymore. That's the instances that we want to start taking a deeper look and deciding, am I still acting in a way that's in line with my goals and in line with my overall lifestyle? And that's what's so great about this, guys, is we're just learning. We're humans. We don't have to be perfect. We can always make adjustments, make changes. We're just learning and figuring it out together and practicing the way that we want to eat over and over and over again until that becomes the norm. So we want to wrap it up, we want to identify if it's a special occasion. If it's not, what are the habits or the behaviors that would be in line with your goals at this dinner? When it comes to tracking and logging, just remember, we're not going to be perfect. We're doing as best that we can. Treat it as education and treat this whole thing as a learning experience. So that's all I've got for you guys. Don't forget, if you want to figure out how you personally could be successful at restaurants, head to my bio, book your free strategy call. We'll talk all about if going out to eat has been holding you back and how we could maybe approach it differently through one-on-one coaching. But that's all I've got. Thank you guys so much for being here. I will talk to you all next week, and have a great night.